Good evening, folks. Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. We're back again with another starting 11 prediction, and again it's Hearts, this time at Tynecastle in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. And of course we come into it off the back of that 3-1 victory over them in the league at Celtic Park the other night. It was a difficult game. We had to work hard for it. We did see some changes to the team, 4 changes in total. I didn't get any right on the prediction, but I did manage to predict one thing right about the game. So I expect it to be a difficult game. I expect Robbie Neilson to whinge about the ref after the game as well. He likes to do that. Predictable as ever from Robbie Neilson. His team got beat and he spent the post-match press conference crying about the referee. Maybe one of these days he'll accept defeat against Celtic gracefully, but I'll not hold my breath for that one. Joking aside though, we come into this game full of confidence, still in great form. 26 wins for 28 league matches. We talked about this in the full-time reaction. Callum, Martin and myself, unbelievable consistency of the team this season. The number of goals is absolutely ridiculous. Well on our way to breaking records in the league, but this is different. This is the Scottish Cup. It's a cup tie. It's the most difficult away cup tie that we could have got at this stage given the teams left in the competition. So we're going to have to be right at it tomorrow. We remember the last trip to Tynecastle where it was 4-3, the game ebbed and flowed, it went both ways, and we managed to come out on top. I expect it to be difficult again. It's always difficult against Hearts. You know they'll be up for it. They made some changes to their team the other night as well. But I think the game the other night was difficult. I thought they did well in terms of their work without the ball in the first half. I thought they pressed us pretty well, restricted us to relatively little, but we managed to find the breakthrough. And I think probably the biggest credit you could give to Hearts is that the 3 goals we scored were of very high quality. It was that level of goals that were required to win the game for us. So hopefully it's more comfortable tomorrow. I really hope it is. I expect us to go back to something close to full strength. The only question mark, I think, in the team in terms of what is full strength is Dyson Maeda, who came off shortly after his goal the other night with that injury. Ange saying today that he's 50-50 and he'll judge it tomorrow. He didn't train today though, which sounds to me like he's not going to make it. He's certainly not going to start the game. He could be an option for the bench, but I think if he didn't train today, he's not going to be in contention to start tomorrow. Today I actually did a Twitter poll. I asked if Dyson Maeda doesn't make it, who would you start in his place? Would it be Liel Abada or Sead Haksabanovic? And remarkably, 640 odd votes, more than 80% of you said you would start Haksabanovic. Is that recency bias because of his goal on Wednesday, which by the way was absolutely breathtaking? Excellent individual play, cutting in for the left hand side, curling it into the top corner. Xander Clark rooted to the spot. He had absolutely no chance. He could have put 2 Xander Clarks in there and they wouldn't have stopped it. It was a great goal. He's looked lively off the bench. He's one player who hasn't had very many starts this season at all. But again, we've seen Abada recently do very well off the bench. And one thing I did say in the build-up to Wednesday's game was, should he get the start, Abada? Can he replicate that form when he gets the start? Because sometimes he doesn't seem as effective when he starts games. And I don't think he was quite as effective the other night. He did get a lot of the ball on the right-hand side, but not too much end product. But that is the one question mark in the team tomorrow. So we'll start in goals. As we always do with Joe Hart, I don't think there's any danger that Siegrist is going to play. Hart's played, I think, all the previous rounds in the Scottish Cup, and Siegrist has obviously been out injured, so no changes there. Back 4, Johnston, Carter Vickers, Starfelt and Greg Taylor. Bernabe and Valston both started on Wednesday. I didn't see that one coming. Both of them have been out of the team for a couple of months at least. Valston, I think, 2 or 3 months with injury. Bernabe's last appearance, I think, was the semi-final, the League Cup semi-final against Kilmarnock at Hampden when Greg Taylor was injured. And there's been a lot of debate in the comments from the full-time reaction the other night about Bernabe's performance. We were maybe a wee bit critical. I don't think he played that well on the night, but football's all about opinions. The comments seem to think that he was absolutely brilliant on the night. Listen, I only seen the game once live. I haven't watched it back. I think his performance did improve in the second half, but my one reservation with Bernabei is that he's a bit erratic. His passing sometimes a bit erratic, and then he goes chasing after it. Similar to Diego Laxalt in some ways, like that. I think he's got much more improvement to do. And the only comment that I made on his performance and on the left back area is that there's a drop off from the standard Greg Taylor has put up this season. I don't think there's any debate in that. I think Greg Taylor's been exceptional, and I think right now he is a better player for us in that position. Bernabei's got a lot to learn. I think there's potential there. He can become a player. I just didn't think he was that good the other night the way other people seem to think. I did see though that he's just had a newborn baby, so maybe it's remarkable that he's even managed to turn up for his work, because I don't think she was born that long ago. So congratulations to him. I hope his performances improve, but I think Taylor's going to come back into the team tomorrow. In midfield, it will be Callum McGregor. Rio Hatate, I expect to come back in after starting on the bench the other night. I think Aaron Moy will keep his place. I thought Moy might get a rest on Wednesday and O'Reilly would come in. They both started together, O'Reilly and Moy. I think they're maybe a wee bit too similar to play together in there. And I think O'Reilly's more effective on the right-hand side of that midfield three. And I think he was more on the left with Moy on the right-hand side the other night. Aaron Moy was good again. He plays a lovely slide rule pass for Kyogo's goal. I think we missed Hatate for long periods in the game. I think when Hearts were pressing as well in the first half, we just needed somebody to link it a wee bit. I think McGregor wasn't really at his absolute best, and as I say, Hearts done well in terms of closing spaces for us. And then towards the end of the game, there's a 10-minute spell towards the end of the game where I think we looked dead on our feet. And I think Hatate did help us when he came onto the pitch, just in terms of linking the ball from the back and progressing it forward. No doubt I think he'll come back in. Now, the front three, talked about it. Is it going to be Abada or Haksabanovic? 80% of you in the Twitter poll think Haksabanovic. I'm going to go with Abada, and purely based on, I think you might get a wee bit more defensive work out of Abada. Now, I know we're playing Hearts, but I expect it to be a difficult game. I expect us to have to do a bit of defending in the game. The last time we went to Tynecastle, we conceded 3. Hopefully that doesn't happen this time. But you do expect to do some defending, and I think you might get a wee bit more out of Abada than Haksabanovic. I think Haksabanovic on one side, Jota on the other. You'd be a wee bit concerned going the other way. But both of them, in terms of attacking output, absolutely exceptional. And I think whoever he goes with, Haksabanovic or Abada, you trust him to make the right decision, whoever he goes with. But that the other one is always the option off the bench, and both of them have had great impacts off the bench recently. So I'm going Abada on the right. You can let me know what you think in the comments below. I'm going Jota on the left and Kyogo Furuhashi through the middle. Was 25th goal of the season the other night. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Times his run to perfection for the first goal. Again, the linesman's got his flag up, but when you look at the replay, he's a few yards onside. It's not even close, and he's got the presence of mind to look up and play a brilliant ball for Dyson Maeda, who's ran into the centre of the 6-yard box. You see that he just times it perfectly, right in between the Maeda and the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper can't come for it. There's a wee second right at the last where Xander Clark thinks he can get there, but he can't, because it's a perfect pass for Dyson Maeda to slide it in. And then his finish for his own goal was brilliant. A great bit of work for Jota into Moy, and then a lovely run off the defender on his weaker foot. High into the roof of the net. Great finish, 25 goals for the season, and who would bet against him getting another one tomorrow? So there you go, that's the team I think Ange Postecoglou will go with tomorrow. It's a huge game for us, the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup. We've got the League Cup in the bag. We're in a great position in the league, so the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup is a big one for us. Wherever you're watching the game tomorrow, enjoy it. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Let me know who you think will start. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be here with live full-time reaction after the game tomorrow. Cheers.